Hey everybody, welcome back to Easel Does It Studio Paintings. So today I'm going to do another seascape, but I'm going to do it, remember the other day I did a seascape and I ended up going with really dark color over here. I'm going to do something similar to that and see if I can get it to come out more the way I wanted it in my head. So we're going to do it with oils today. So I've got some blue, some white, some phthalo blue, titanium white, sap green, cadmium yellow. I'm probably going to use a little bit of yellow ochre, burnt sienna once we get down to some of the sand. But I'm going to try doing this in oils today. So that being said, so right now there's nothing on my canvas. I'm going to put the Bob Ross liquid white on my canvas. So that's how we're going to start. And I just put it in bigger containers because my other jars were getting all gross and I couldn't fit my my brushes in there good. And I got a hair I'm trying to pull out here. So I'm just going to coat, all right, I'm going to need to get some more liquid white. I can already tell because I'm going to stir it up. Should have done that first. All right, now we've got that mixed. So I'm just putting some on my brush. Let me just kind of turn you so you can see the canvas, because that's what you're interested in, not me. So I'm just going to put a thin layer. So instead of doing the oil, I'm doing the liquid white. And that is basically getting your canvas ready so that when you put your paints on, they're going to spread and you're not going to have to use as much. And down here at the bottom, I really don't need a lot, but we're still going to put some, just so the whole canvas is covered. Now, I thought about doing this before, but I wanted you guys to see the whole process. All right, I'm gonna go this way. I just want to make sure that it's pretty much even, you know, throughout the canvas. And you get a shop towel. So how you can test if you've got enough or too much on, you want it to be like you can see the skin through it, but the fingerprints, that's, you know, you've got the right amount. All right, so I can close this up and let's get this washed out. So I'm just cleaning it in odorless mineral spirits. And then shaking the excess off and beating it on I've got like a little rack in my 5-gallon bucket. It's a homemade job, but it works. All right, so I do want to pull out another blue, if I have another blue or a different shade for the water. Yeah, let's do we'll add some turquoise into the water pot, because I want this to be very, very pastel like the other one, which I think I'm going to have a better grip of doing that in oils because the way they, you know, they blend better. So basically I use Gamblin 1980, Windsor Newton. Those are my go-to oil colors. So the Windsor Newton and the Gamblin 1980. Those are the ones that I love. All right, let's take a small brush, and I'm just barely, I'm like patting on my thing because I don't want a ton of paint. And if I have to go back in with some white, I can do that. But right now I've just actually I'm gonna put a tad bit of yellow ochre in the sky first, because I don't want a lot of color, but I do want there to be, you know, a little bit of. All right, so we'll just take the other 1-inch brush, and I'm just like a dab. And because I want to make like a little bit of sun penetrating up through the horizon. So we can put a sun in, and you know, it's gonna stand out a little bit more. All right, so I'm just gonna wipe this off because there's really not much on there. And I'm gonna start up here, and I'm just gonna lightly, because I'm gonna blend this all out. I don't want a lot of blue. So let me take, all right, I'm gonna take just a mop brush, and we're gonna just start, so I'm definitely gonna need a little bit more, which is fine. All right, let me, and then I'm gonna wipe this, and I'm going to pick up just some titanium white, because I want this to be really light. So we're gonna blend, and the more you blend, the more your colors are gonna mix. Now we gotta be careful when we get near this yellow patch, because we don't want it to go green. So I'm just trying to like bring some in so it's blended, but yet my brushes are shedding. All right, turn my fan down on my purifier here. All right, so I'm gonna go back in just a smidge more of that yellow ochre, and just try to blend this through so it, I don't want it to look like it was a deliberate kind of patch, but I also want to be very careful that I'm not getting a green. All right, so I'm just going to slightly get that blended in. And let's take a small fan brush. I do want to put a few clouds. So I'm just going to pick up some titanium white on my brush, and it's got a little bit of yellow in it, and that's totally fine. All right, I know it's really hard for you guys to see. Let me just get a few here. I want them to be more like little puffy, you know, something in the sky, not you know, because it's like a nice, bright, sunny day, but there's a few little wispies up in the sky. And let's kind of do one, like, kind of coming over here. And I'm just like barely anything on my brush. All right. So let's just kind of blend that out. And maybe we'll just put a little something down in here. I know you can't, it's not really even showing, guys, but hopefully once we start getting our water in. All right, so I'm just gonna bring this kind of down. So let's take a filbert brush, and we're just gonna pick up some white, and we're gonna put a little sun or something right here. There we go. Just kind of, I'll just wipe this out because I'm sure I'll use that again. All right, so let me wash one of my 1-inch brushes here. And we're gonna start going in with some turquoise. And again, I don't even know if you can see how little that paint is on there. And we'll kind of blend up over the sky a little bit. I don't want it completely, some little crumbs or something. Get off of there. go in a little bit more. Like I said, I want this, you know, to be like very light and pastel, but yet you can see, you know, the color there. All right, let me just hold it up so you guys can try to get it out of the glare. So you can see that it is showing. I'm going to darken a little bit more through the back here. Just darkening a little so you guys can like see that I do have color on my brush here. And then as we come down, it's gonna get lighter and lighter. Try to get that line out of there. All right, and that is going to be where our water is. You know, and then I can go back over with my palette knife and we can, you know, make a little bit of movement in here. I'm just trying to get some little bit of darker spots here and there. All right, smooth that over. Do I just make a little bit darker up at this top end? Let's see. All right, so that's a little bit darker farther out. All right, let me wash my brush. So I'm trying to make this so that it's a simple painting that if you guys wanted to try oil, you know, you could buy a very small set of oil paints and, you know, be able to do this. All right. Just wipe this, and I just want to set that sun in there just a little bit. Okay, so now let's get some sand color in. Let's see, I'm going to try a little bit of the burnt sienna, which is kind of like a reddish color, but I'm gonna try mixing it with a little bit of the, all right, where is my small, my small knife. I used it my last painting, so yep, it was in with my acrylic stuff. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit of the yellow ochre and burnt sienna and some white. More white. So I've got a little bit lighter shade. I'm gonna put just a smidge of burnt umber because it's looking a little bit orangey and I want it to be maybe a little bit more beige. So, and let's take some white. Yeah, I think that's going to be a better color here. Let me scrape it up and put it in a pile. All right. So with our clean brush, I'm going to pick some of that up and we're going to start getting, oh, that's perfect. That's exactly the color that I wanted. And as we go up, it's going to start getting lighter and lighter, which is exactly what I want. I'm just pulling this in so that our line is not like straight. All right, that is a perfect sand color. All right, let me move all these brushes aside. Like I said, guys, I'm still learning with oils. So that's why sometimes you'll see me like scrape something off and, you know, kind of start again. I do want to blend this more right up in here. I'm not liking that. It looks, and this is just with whatever I had left on that brush. There. All right. So I'm going to take some liquid white after I clean my palette knife off, not night. So I'm going to put a pile on my palette, and we're going to pick up some of the titanium, oh, excuse me, white. So we have a thinner white. Not real thin, but thinner. And I'm just mixing the two. All right. So now I struggle when I get with my palette knife at the bottom. So I'm going to try and lock this down tight so that it doesn't pop off down here, so that I can do my foam, because I want to do the foam before I put my little bit of foliage in down here. So I'm just going to cut across, and let's just let me just start up here, I guess. I might have to thin this out just a little. And I'm kind of liking those like raised bits. I'm gonna leave that because I that's talking to me right now. That is like giving me, that water has been washed up in here, and I love that. Oh, okay, I like that. All right. Whew. So before I get anything in, let's get our little bit of ripples in. So I'm going to take that same turquoise and I'm going to mix that with some of the liquid white. So we have a much lighter color. I'm going to put a little roll on my brush. I mean on my knife. And we are going to just get, you know, so there's a little bit of movement out in here. And this is going to give us like our darkness in the background here. And I'm going to put a little bit more white in there. And I'm just trying to like kind of like blend them in a little bit. giving us just, you know, a little bit of movement. All right, I need a little bit more and regular white and the thin white. And you want to keep your lines straight, going as much as you can, going across your canvas, because you don't want your water to fall off your painting. And you don't need it everywhere, but just adds texture for one. So I put a little bit on, and then I just kind of go back and cut it through with the knife, which is giving, you know, that rippley kind of look. Let's see, we'll do a little bit more down in through here where those lighter areas are. And that way there, just kind of you know, because obviously there would be some movement down in here because of all these little wavy bits here. All right, so our beach has some movement. All right, now I'm going to wipe this off, and I'm just going to pick up some white, and we're just going to skirt a little bit across this area right in here. So I'm just plain white. Wipe my knife, pick up a little bit more. And there wouldn't be a lot because, you know, where it's so small, it's like further back. So it's not gonna come like all the way to the front. But, you know, obviously there would be a little bit of a sparkle coming across the water here. Oh, that might be a bit much, so we just kind of rub that in. Just cut it up a little bit. Just come down just a little bit more, just so it's getting smaller and smaller as the closer it gets. Okay, I think that is good. Okay, I'm loving this. I think that's one of my best beach thingies I've done. But I tried something different by mixing the thin and the thick and making my own texture. So I am loving that. So I do need to put a rock here and over here. But I'm going to put my grass things in first. That's, I think, what I did wrong last time. Maybe I'll put the one in the back in now. And then I'll put my grass. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to lighten the sand color up even more. Trying not to get any blue in it here. Which way do I want to go on my rock? All right, we're gonna go in with some dark first. And I'm just using the burnt umber. All right. Now I'm going to go in with that little bit lighter color that I made. And gotta pick up enough. And I'm just trying to blend this inside here a little bit. All right. Whew. I'm gonna take just a small little brush, just a little angled brush, and barely even touch that darker brown, just so we can get our, like a shadow kind of in place here. You know, almost like the sand is wet. Okay. Whew. Now I'm nervous because now I have got to make my Oh, I don't even know what they're called, but they're like seagrass type thing. Let me take, where is it here? So I'm just going to pick up some sap green. And there's not going to be a lot. It's not going to, hopefully not like the last one. I'm going to start at the top so I can get thicker as I okay. And each time I pick that up, I'm going to wipe my brush off. And I want them to be different. I'm just trying to get the area in where I'm going to put, because I want some to be higher and some lower. Let's see. Let's extend this one here. All right, so these are, you know, like all in the ground, but I'm gonna put another rock in front. So that's, that was the thing that I didn't do right last time. All right, so I'm going to pick up some of that initial darker sand color. And we're gonna so it's almost like when we do like a palm tree, but these are more like, I don't know, beach wheats, I guess they would, I think that's what they call them. And you know, I want some going over some of the ones in the back as well. And let's see. Okay. I like it. All right, so I'm gonna wipe this off, get most of that out of there. And let me get a clean towel here. This is so much closer to what I was going for in that first picture. All right, so I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the thinner white with the lighter color and just try to give a little bit of a highlight on those. Just so there's like the two colors. All right, I need some more white here. You know, and they wouldn't all be the same. I'll just put some little faint ones down in here. Oh, I like it, I like it. That one needed to be a little bit fatter. Okay. Oh my God. I'm so excited. All right, so let's go back in with the brown. And we're gonna put another rock. So that back rock still shows, but this rock is in the front. All right, we're gonna take a little flat brush here, and I'm just gonna smooth some of this out. And we're just gonna give a shadow here. All right. Almost, you know, like sand piles or whatever. So let's take some of that light color and all right, now I'm gonna get some more liquid white, and we're gonna put a little bit of watery around the base here. And this has a little tiny bit of blue in it, and it's okay. All right, so it's just not pure white. And let's just kind of you know, because I mean the water could be just kind of going out or coming in, or you know, whatever. There would be some sort of like water in there. I love it. I love it. I just don't know if we should have like a hint of dark on there. Let me try it right on this one. Let me just take the small end, just that little corner. I do like just a hint of the dark in it, but all right, I think we are just gonna leave it like that. We've got a little, you know, a few different, some are a little darker, some are a little lighter, which is fine. I think I'm gonna put, maybe a few little if I knew if I could draw a shell, that would be, let me see if I can just use my knife to kind of like outline a shell. No. No, I'm not going to even attempt to try and ruin this beautiful painting. All right, guys, I am going to put a signature on this, and we are going to call this one done. If I can find my liner brush that I like, this one here. All right, so I'm going to take some of the white and that turquoise, and we're just gonna do a very light color. Right down here. And there we go, guys. All right. Now there was a bird in the sky, but I'm not even gonna attempt it because I don't want to ruin it. I really like, it's very rare that I absolutely love a painting when I'm done. So I am not putting a bird in the sky. So that is the finished painting. Let me know your thoughts. Yeah, and if it's something that you'd be willing to try doing. Alrighty, guys, I will talk to you on the next video. Bye, guys.